So today we're going to look at the ST58 changeover valve. These are commonly fitted to something like the ST175 600mm lance. What we're going to do is strip this down, take a look inside, and we'll show you how to fit the repair kit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take the grub screw out of the housing. Put that to one side so it's nice and safe. So now you can see it releases the actual internal mechanism. Put that to one side. Okay, so I'm going to put the shallow end of the internal mechanism in the vise, just on the end like that. Just get the flats, there's two flats there, into the vise. Get that nice and secure. And now I've got a 32mm wrench spanner, so I'm going to just gently break that off like so. Okay, so now I can undo this part by hand. There we go. Put that down. Now you'll notice this part has an O-ring on, so with a pick I'm going to very carefully get into there, squeeze it together and remove like so. Put that to one side. So in the kit, repair kit, we've got a new O-ring, so we can roll that into place like so. Put that to one side. Okay, so with a pick I'm just going to very gently pull that towards the female end, and I can just ever so carefully push that out like so. I've got the two bearings inside. Tip that over and I'll put that with my older O-ring kit there. So we can actually put a little bit of grease in here, not too much. It's just enough to lubricate the seal itself and stop it binding up when you put it back into situ. So I'll get the other O-ring. I can put that. It's always tricky to do when you've got grease on your fingers, but there we go. So that's that one complete. So we can put that to one side, ready for assembly. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I don't know what you can see into that. So we've got two nylon bushes with O-rings on. So what I'm going to use is a TX40 bit. So that's a Torx bit. And I've just got it on an extension bar. And I'm just going to push this in just so it bites onto the actual internal diameter of the plastic. And then it comes out like so. So obviously there is a little tiny O-ring on there, just note that. And we'll do the same with the, whoops. Okay, now it's worth noting that there's a slight difference in the depth. So the deeper part of the bush is upwards, and there's a shallower edge downwards towards the flat end of your actual, so it sits like that in the mechanism. So there is a difference there. So we'll make sure it goes back in the same orientation. So we'll put that on there. So again, now we can put the O-rings onto that. Quite tricky. Okay. And now we can simply replace them back in. So I'm also going to put a little bit of grease. I'm going to put a little bit of grease just on the end of my pick and just put that into the bottom like so, and just wipe it round. Just a little bit less messy than putting it onto your fingers. Okay, so we should be able to put these in by hand. It's just a case of pushing it into place like so. Same with the other one. And just make sure they're seated and they're nice and flush into the bottom of there. Okay. Okay, so replace the ball bearings, make sure they're seated, everything is nice and clean inside. Put the ball bearing in. I'm not going to add any grease to these because they need to move around, need to be nice and loose. So now we need to orientate the female side thread with the slot on the housing itself. So literally put them together and push them in like so. Okay, so now you can see the threaded part through there. Okay, so the next part we can put this back in. So we've got some grease on there. I'm actually putting a little bit more grease on there just to stop it binding up. So we can simply lock that back together. So we'll put this back into the vise, put the shallow part in. .32mm spanner, so I can just snip that up. Like so. Because now we can put the housing back on, so it's the male part into the female, and we need to line it up so we get the locking bar thread into place. So there we go. And there you go, that completes the repair kit assembly.